Hi everybody, Johnny here. So today I'm gonna do a different kind of video. This video is gonna have a time skip because I went ahead and bit the bullet and got me the 23&Me ancestry kit. And yes, I know they're probably gonna sell my information. Okay, so I'm an 80s baby. I grew up in Cuba, and like many of you, I was taught that there were about 5 different human races, and these were Caucasoid, Negroid, Mongoloid, Australoid, and many others. All of this is false. But Juni, I hear you say, it's in a science book. How could that be wrong? Simple. Science works by studying new ideas, and whatever doesn't hold up gets debunked, and we move forward with the new idea once it's been proven and peer-reviewed. So nothing in science is meant to stay forever. The moment that something gets proven to be correct and goes against the other view, it gets debunked. Kind of like how we lost Pluto from planet to planetoid. So what debunks the whole idea of race is also what makes this possible, and that is the Human Genome Project. Okay, so from the source. Race is a fluid concept used to group people according to various factors, including ancestral background and social identity. Race is also used to group people that share a set of visible characteristics such as skin color and facial features. Though these visible traits are influenced by genes, the vast majority of genetic variation exists within racial groups and not between them. Race is an ideology, and for this reason many scientists believe that race should be more accurately described as a social construct rather than a biological one.
So race is a concept without a generally agreed upon definition. Race has been documented as a concept developed in the 18th century to divide humans into groups, often based on physical appearance, social and cultural backgrounds. Race has been used historically to establish a social hierarchy and to enslave humans. Racial groups have no defined boundaries, but have a blurry and imprecise relationship with human genetic variation and population groups across the world. I like Professor Audrey Smedley's definition. She states, race is a culturally structured, systematic way of looking at perceiving and interpreting reality.
So now that we have a better idea of what race is and on what makes this possible, let's go ahead and do the unboxing. Alright, so let's go ahead and open this. It says, welcome to you. Ancestry and traits is what I'm concerned with. You can buy different packages, and the other ones are like also health, which includes like what genetic things you are mostly predisposed to. But I couldn't afford that, so I didn't get that. I got this instead. So comes with this. Okay, there are steps. So, ooh la la, what do we have here? Funnel lid, funnel, cap, and tube. Fill line. Okay, so I have to fill it up until there. Ready, said, wait. Before you begin, please review the important information. I'll have to blur that out from the video. It's only one. Okay, cool. And then I send this back on this same thing, I'm sure. Okay. So let's open this. Take this out and don't open it. This is my collection thing and the lid. And then, okay. Alright. So this is what it came with. The collection tube, which I will register, fill it to here, and then send it back on this, and this is the lid. Alright, so this is the moment of truth. I have my little container base that I'm gonna spit into. So if this is grossing out, look away for a moment while I fill this up. So this is grossing out, like, you know, look away, I guess. Content warning. Anyway, I have to fill it up to here. So let's see how good of a spitter I am. I should be good. I have practice. Someday you're gonna need to spit a lot and you won't have any saliva. Today is that day. So as far as I know, according to my father, I have some ancestry from Dominican Republic, but and then there's also some Spanish in there. But since I'm from Cuba, I'm naturally assuming that I have some black in me and some Taino. But because there was a lot of migration towards the island, I don't know exactly from where my ancestry come from. My family on my dad's side did some research, and apparently there's some connections to Italy, and there's even a shield they managed to get from the family crest from the very beginnings of the lineage of my paternal last name, which is Viada. And so that's the other reason that I wanted to do this, because I wanted to know. And at the same time, I wanted to talk about genealogy and race and what is and isn't. And now we're gonna mount this back, and I'm gonna go to the time skip, because the next time that I'll be back, it'll be hopefully a few weeks or whatever time, how long it is, and I'll be able to get the result, and we'll do the reading of. Welcome back. It's been an anime time skip of about 2 weeks, give or take. And I got the email today with the results. I was at work, and now I just got back to work. I got ready, and I started to. Alright, so time to get curious and see what the fuss is all about. And I'm recording, so this is the first time that I'm reading this. I haven't taken a peek. It's been hard, but here we go. Let's start with Ice competition. Let's do it. Let's look at this. Let's see how much colonizer I have in my DNA. Of course. Of course. That makes sense. Okay, so let's see. Of course, European. Colonizer. Okay, so Southern European, Spanish and Portuguese, and Canary Islands, Spain. Look at that. And 7 regions from there. Some Italian. There you go. There's some Italian. Broadly Southern European. Okay. Eastern European, British, Irish, French, and German. What the fuck? I had German in me too. Look at that. Scandinavian. I mean, obviously, this happens. This kind of thing happens like way over the generations, stretching back into like, there was no history. So like, obviously, like just about everybody should have a little bit of everything, because people have intermingled between different phenotypes of people from different regions. So there's that. Native American! There you go! 10% Native American! That's what I expected. That's my Taino roots right there. That's kind of what I was looking for. Honestly. Okay, so there is some Native American, 10%. That's not bad. 10%. 1% North African. Is almost nothing from Northern West Asian. Probably East Asian and Native American. Oh, okay. Probably Western Asian and North African. Sub-Saharan African, 2%. 2.3%. West African, 1.4%. Guineans, I don't even know how to read this. See. I'm Guinean, 0.7%. Probably West African, 0.2%, because like we all should have some part left from Africa, seeing how Africa is like the birthplace of humanity before we all spread throughout the continent. So that should be like our starting point there, and then as we spread out and humanity changed, because the different areas that they lived in, they changed different skin tones, and that's how we got different phenotypes. We were taught were races, but not actually. What it really is phenotypes. And let's see, trace ancestry. What is this? So this is 1%, and 6.5% is on a sign. So like, who knows? Recent ancestry in the Americans, Caribbean, or Cuba. Okay, yeah, that's the information I get you guys. Like I told you that. You didn't need to go into my DNA for that. Okay, so let's look at the 2%. So like 76% European, 11% Native American and East Asian, 3.2% from Western Asian and North African, 2% Saharan African. Okay. And then the rest we don't even know. Alright, that's cool. That's really cool. Let me see. Let's go look at the American part. Has to be the Catalina. So let's look. And that's just enough. Oh, this is something else. Well, let me see if I can look at this and give some more information on that. So let's see. So see, like, the genetic landscape of the Americas has dramatically altered over the past 500 years following waves of immigration, not to mention colonization, from Europe, Africa, and Asia. Millions of indigenous Americans perish, as Taino did, as a result of the exposure to old world diseases and slavery. Like, don't leave that out. And genocide at the hands of Europeans. There you go. Okay, good. They put it there. I got ahead of myself. But the genetic legacies of these early Americans persist to this day, primarily in Central and South American. This is a mixing of historical populations called admixture, resulting in a new admixed genetic cultural identities that define people in the Americas today. Okay. And first Americans, so yeah, because it's from the Caribbean, this is like, this should be some kind of heritage that I inherit from some side of my ancestry from way prior. So that's kind of cool that that's there, because I wasn't sure if I would have any because of the European features. So I'm happy that I have roots. They go back to the original inhabitants of my birthplace. There's Cuba. Let's see, is there anything else that I can look at? Let's go look at the percentage of red hair, because I want to find something out. Okay, before recording. But your genetics make you unlikely to have red hair. So only 1% of the population has red hair. And if no, I do not have red hair. More about the red hair. Okay, there we go. So hair gets discovered from pigment molecules. People with red hair have high levels of red and yellow pigment called pheomelanin. Okay. Several variants of the single gene. The gene, MC1R, can pass your hair by using the amount of phenomena in your hair. What about blonde and black hair? What about, let's say, red hair might have appeared? Okay, so there we go. So this is what I wanted to get at, which I have heard of before, but I needed some confirmation. So red hair might have appeared in the Netherlands even earlier than other ancient humans. Scientists sequenced the genes of Neanderthal remains found in Italy and Spain and discovered a variant of MC1R gene that is predicted to have caused red hair. While it's different from the red hair variants in this report, this Neanderthal variant also affects how pigment is produced. So it's possible that people with red hair have like Neanderthal genes from way back when, and that's why they have red hair now. Although they're saying that the pigment, the gene in question is different than what we have now, so maybe I'm wrong on that. And I could be wrong, so don't sue me. Alright, so that was kind of exciting. Now I get to go finish this video. So yeah, in closing, all I wanted to say is going forward, scientists are trying to move towards the idea and the concept of race is not a scientific thing, because of the genetics proof that there's not we're not separate races. We're like phenotypes of the same family or the same race, but technically we are all related, going way far back. But obviously racism is a problem, and it's observed culturally. So we have to fight back this with facts, with science, and with empathy. So I've been trying to like expand my efforts as far as being more of an anti-racist, and not just saying that I'm not racist, because that's not helping anybody, and it hasn't helped, or we wouldn't be having these discussions right now or talking about this. So my advice to you would be to look at the work. The work of Jen Elliott taught me a lot. It taught me about the people are aware of racial relationships, even though they might not think that they know, and they know that there is injustice happening, and they see it, and whether or not they're conscious about it or not, they are a part of it, and they understand. From Dr. Robin DiAngelo, she kind of gets in there to the root of what the problems are and why things haven't changed, even though we know the right thing to do is. And I recommend you guys to find her book on white fragility. Even though this is not a term to be like throwing people at, it's a term more for us to do like introspective work and see within ourselves and understand how people react the way that they react. It's not to be like throwing at, that's white fragility! That's not how it works. But definitely recommend her book, and there's also a documentary about her, and it's going to be in the description, as well as work from Jen Elliott. From Professor Ibram Kendi, I know the difference between being not racist and just being anti-racist, and that word I hadn't really heard much before until I saw his TED Talk, and he also has a book on how to be an anti-racist, and I also recommend you to read his stuff and also watch his TED Talk. It's also going to be in the description. So everything that I talked about on this video is also on the description. Like I have all my citations, all my Cited Works are there, and all the research that you can go back to and review. And I'm sure I got something wrong, because I am not a social scientist, but I am someone that went to college, has done the work. I want to change things, and I want things to change for the better. I don't want my friends that are black to be afraid of going outside because they don't know what life is going to bring to them. And I used to tell people, there are ways to protest, and you should do it peacefully. And now I'm at the point where I like, let's burn a Wendy's. Let's just go burn a Chick-fil-A, because there's no changings happening. The Verona Teller verdict was disappointing. They paid the family, but a wall got served more justice than the woman that was in her home and shouldn't have been murdered. So yeah, I urge you to, like, if you have any questions, talk to me, but mostly reach out to people that are going through this, and try to help out in some way, try to like lift their burdens. And above all, education is not enough to combat racism. Education is not enough, because if it was, we wouldn't be having these talks. It's more of an emotional thing, and there's layers and layers and layers of white supremacist systems. And when I mean white supremacists, I don't mean like the people chanting "Vote for Trump" on their rallies. They are that too, but I mean more like a system that works with ideologies that support each other. And I know this it sounds strange, but that's how culture works. There are ideas that get reinforced, and there are layers and layers and layers that you can look, and you'll find something there. And this goes as far as how things get taught in schools. Like I talked about the race theory. Hopefully it doesn't get taught anymore, but I'm not sure, because where I'm from, there's a standard of education for an entire country, so they get their lives in check, basically. But here it's like state by state, so I don't know what gets taught here and what gets taught there, and who decides what gets taught or not. And it should be scientists and teachers, and always it should be educators that get in charge of what gets taught in your school, not someone that's not an educator. Education should be about opening people's minds and teaching people to think critically, not teaching people to just do a job. And I think I'm rambling now, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. So again, check the description for the citations, and also I have a bunch of anti-racist content down there, mostly TED Talks. So it's all videos, it's all presentations, so you can easily consume it. But there are also books, and I want to say, reach out to your black friends, but don't reach out to your black friends so they can explain everything to you. Just try to help, and don't talk for people. Kind of like I'm running the risk of by doing this video of being perceived as someone that are trying to take voices away, and that hopefully that's not what I'm doing. But reach out to people, because through empathy and through getting to know each other, those are the only ways that we're going to be able to like erase those stereotypes of that we have from people that have survived in the culture through jokes, through memes, through sayings, through phrases that get instilled in you since you were a child that you don't even realize, and that's what we need to fight. Those ideas, they underestimate black people, and they paint them in a negative light. And it's not just black people, it's like a worldwide thing, because colonization changed the world, and the doctrine of discovery basically told colonizers, everybody in the Americas is not Christian, therefore they're not humans because they're not in the Bible, and so you have the right to go and erase their culture and destroy everything. But this is kind of like a different subject for maybe a different video. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, please Google it. It's there. It's one of the reasons that I'm an atheist. So yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna end this video here. Hopefully I didn't bore you to tears, and hopefully you learned something, and hopefully you're going to the description and checking the stuff, and hopefully you're trying to think about things as if people that you see protesting are your family, because they are.